All right, we are in section 5.5. We're asked to find the average value of f from -1 to 1. So let's graph it first because it did ask for a graph. If you use your graphing calculator or Desmos or something, you will see that's 1. The graph looks something like this. Roughly like that. So how do you find the average value from -1 to 1? I will show you. I don't know, it's somewhere like that and like that. And we want the average value. So a way of thinking about this, when you did means, you add up all the numbers and divide it by the number of numbers. So you're kind of doing that. You want to add up all these y values and divide by the number of numbers. And you do that by integrating, because when you integrate, you're adding a bunch of stuff up. So that's the thought process. So the average value, which I'll abbreviate with AV, should be the integral from -1 to 1 of your function divided by b minus a. So this is kind of like dividing by the number of numbers when you did a mean. That's kind of the conceptually what's going on. So what's the antiderivative of 1 over x squared plus 1? If you don't know that, you need to memorize your derivatives, because the derivative of arctan is 1 over 1 plus x squared, or x squared plus 1. So that's going to be arctan from -1 to 1 divided by 2, because that's 2. Let's keep going. You plug in the top number and you plug in the bottom number and you subtract. So how do you do this without a calculator? Unit circle. It's going backwards. This is asking what angle has a sine or tangent of 1. And you should know from your 3 triangles that that's a 45 degree, which is pi over 4. So you should know that's pi over 4. And this is asking what angle has a tangent of -1. And that's going to be a 45 degree again, but that's going to be in the 4th quadrant. So that's going to be negative pi over 4. That means you're adding the 2. So pi over 4 plus pi over 4 is 2 pi over 4. That reduces to pi over 2. But pi over 2 divided by 2, you multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator, which is 2 over 1, and you will get pi over 4 is your average value. So the way I kind of explained this when you did your video, you pictured an aquarium. And because we're in space, the water isn't flat on top. So the water's kind of weird shaped like that. And so all that water, let me get the sides of the aquarium. There's the sides. It's kind of not the same height. Let me draw a fishy for you. Here's a fishy swimming in our aquarium. Now, when we land, all that water is going to level out because gravity is going to pull it down. And it's going to level out to the average value of all that water. So when that happens, it comes out to be this, which is about 0.7, because pi is about 3.75-ish. Actually, a little bit bigger than 0.75, because pi is a little bigger than 3. So a little bigger than 0.75 will be the average value. So it's going to be somewhere up here. All the water is going to level out to that level. And that y value there is going to be pi over 4. So that's the idea of average value. And you might say, how does that work? You will notice there are missing pieces right there and there, right? Well, the water here will fill those missing pieces. And obviously that's off a little bit. My average value should be higher, but you get the idea. So that is number 23, and I did make a mistake.